You got the hymns in the system, boy. Got that energy.
That boy be up.
Yeah, up. Stuck, up and stuck.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Everybody gather around. Get in. Because before we get started, we want to raise a toast.
Got my cup. You know I got my cup.
Everybody got your cup?
Let's go.
Coffee, water, orange juice, or hard liquor, however you start your morning. Let's go. We all fall, but we say don't trip. We all been called, but all stall a bit. We all stand tall until that time we slip. Just admit, without the grace of God, I'm really bad at this. You know what? We should all start saying that part.
Salute.
I'm really bad at this. We should say that part.
Salute.
Hey, welcome in, everybody.
Yo.
What's been up, man, since we last chatted, man? Let me ask this: what have people been telling y'all about the pod, or enjoying, or not enjoying, and critiquing about the pod? Just off the rip.
I've been having some good reviews. A lot of people that I know have hit me and said they have listened to the podcast and they're really enjoying it. They love an authenticity of the conversation, and they actually love our camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? They love the way that we rock with each other.
Well, I hope they keep rocking with us in that. And yeah, I'm hearing the same. How about you, James?
Oh, yeah, I was talking to a couple people. A couple people listening in on just the way we talk about our failures and some of the spectacular face plants that we've been doing, and just busting up laughing, just really being encouraged by the transparency that we're willing to say certain stuff about, like just embarrassing stuff that you have to tell the truth on yourself about.
Yeah.
So my daughter was listening. She was busting up laughing like, man, y'all crazy.
Yeah.
My niece, you know, and this is really who I really think about when we talking about these conversations. It's not to glamorize or glorify anything that we fail at. It's to say, listen, you're not alone in this.
Yep.
In your struggle, I remember hearing other people ahead of me saying, hey, man, I fell flat on my face a few times, and not once or twice. And I remember that encouraged me.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to see that, and I think that's pretty dope.
What's been up, fellas? Anything else happened interesting in y'all lives since we last got together? I'm trying to sit here thinking. My wife has been away this week traveling. Actually, she went for a job interview. It was actually to close on this company that really wanted her. And she went from worrying about this to it just kind of jumping in her lap. So praise the Lord for that. She's not really tripping. It sounds good. So I've just been at the easy, holding it down.
Yeah.
You know, which is not odd for me. You know what I'm saying? Just, what do I have to do? Cook? I know how to do that. What do I have to do? Clean?
Brother can cook. That's for sure.
Can cook.
Brother can cook.
So what do I have to, so that's been the turn. Should be back this weekend. How about y'all?
Sure. Well, since the last time we spoke, I got that promotion.
I remember that. You
Started
did
the
mention
new
that.
gig. Shout out
How's that
to
been going?
all my people at District 27, Department of Public Social Services over in the great city of Watts.
Yeah.
Watts up. Nah, they sent me off fantastic, great. I appreciate everybody that I work with.
Dope.
Been fantastic, from all my CalWorks supervisor and all my coworkers there to the customer service. First interaction coming in, my whole unit just been lovely, been great.
Dope.
I loved it. It actually been probably the best group of people that I've worked with in all the years I've been working. I've been working since I'm 16 and I'm now 44.
Yeah.
Yeah, June 17th was my B-day also. Hit the full foe, breaking all statistics in the hood. You know what I'm saying? We ain't supposed to be here past
either
30.
None of us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But by the grace of God, I'm here at 44 speaking with you with my brothers.
Which is super dope. When you do, like, I guess, move on to another gig like that, isn't it like there's aspects of it to me? Isn't it like you went from one school to another school now? Like you graduated and
like
everybody signed your little yearbook or your card or whatever. You got them vibes, and now you finna move into a whole other school.
Yeah, I had a couple cards that came through. My coworker signed cards for me. You know what I'm saying? Had to, kind of had to tear ducks water a little bit.
Of course, that's what I'm about to say. I didn't know that.
I became sensitive since I hit 40, bro. I don't know what happened to me.
It get worse, bro. Trust me, it gets worse the older we get, bro. You gonna be tapping in. Watch.
And I'm sitting here, I'm just like all emotional, like what's going on? I've never I might not have cried in like 10 years, and then might have cried 10 times like 2 months. You know, like what's going on with me, bro?
Your testosterone levels is dropping. That's what's going on.
They dropping, bro. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna have to hear Frank Thomas, that little commercial you got. Like, give me some of them, whatever dopamines, whatever they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna need some of them joints because I'm too emotional right now. You know what I'm saying?
The boy feel unbalanced. I think that's life though. You know, James. Anything, man? Anything interesting since the last?
Nah, ain't nothing new going on with me, man. I'm trying to make sure it ain't no whole lot of new stuff going on every week. That ain't gonna work for me.
It is.
Trying to be
we
a little bit stable.
We be thinking like we don't be doing much or whatever, but it's always something going on in your life. Like coming up, Freedom Fridays, right? That's something you working on. I mean, you act like people just do that in their regular life, we just put together little events for for young folks, and we just open up platforms for people to talk whatever. Yeah, we do that. No, you're about to be doing that Friday. You want to talk about that again?
Hey, man, I just think it's really dope to have space for people to talk, ask questions, really get a chance to be seen. I think one thing about church that sometimes people overlook is that you can have, the 5 or 10 people that kind of get some of the shine, or the 10 or 20 people that kind of have they're not clicked up on purpose, but there's a whole group of people that just get left behind, and they don't necessarily have the same opportunities. They don't necessarily have a house full of people. I go home to a house full of people.
Yeah.
So I'm not in no hurry, or I'm not in no deficit of human interaction.
I hear you.
And I think there's just a lot of people that are. So shout out to everybody who's creating spaces for people to be seen, for people to be loved, for people to be hugged and heard, and for people to get a chance to express themselves. And I think that's really dope. I'm trying to be a part of that. So whatever it takes to do that, I'm in. And
where is that at?
It's at our local church in LA. We do it every second and fourth Friday at 7:30. And it's an opportunity for people to get to know each other, have some fun and games, win some little prizes. We do some praise and worship. We get to do a little bit more than we do on Sunday, some extended praise and worship. That always is encouraging and helpful after a long week. And then at the end, we do this Q&A where people can ask anonymous questions and really find out stuff about life, specifically from a biblical perspective. But it could be about anything: friendship, money, gender, dating. And it's just dope to be a part of something where people can actually come together. Because I think people are lonelier than we want to admit. People are they doing studies and telling us people are lonely.
Sure.
People are at home. You think they out living the dream, but people are not living out these music videos. People are at home and they're alone, and I'm hearing it. And so I want to be a part of some kind of catalyst to get them out of those little lonely corners and come chill with us. Come be with us. We don't necessarily know that until we get into rooms together.
Dope.
I love it.
Well, a lot's been going on. And when I asked since we last met in the church, one thing that came up, kind of, I don't want to say interesting, but it was kind of shocking and jarring for some of us. But news came out that Pastor Tony Evans was stepping down from his position at his church, and initially, when it hit, it was like, dang, who was that? I think Bookie, you was the first one to text it. And I was like, oh, man. And then I sent it to Wifey. And she was like, dang, and, what's going on?
Not the OG.
Yeah, it's that moment. And, we've had a lot, go on recently, like with Brady and all kind of, crazy stuff happening in the church. And so we was like, oh, man, here's another incident.
Here we go.
Here's another one. But this one is very different. Very, very, very different. I will say right out the gate that I've been left with saying, oh, well, something has happened. And it's unfortunate that, he has to step down. But, it's part of, I think, being responsible and doing the right thing. I think some people were just taken back because it's like, well, what do you do? What did he do? What have you done? And the quote that he says is, while I have committed no crime, I did not use righteous judgment in my actions.
And it sounded like this was from 15 years ago, that this didn't happen like last night.
So, yeah.
It sounded like it was a long time ago.
So, I don't know how long ago it was, but yeah, this is not something like that's recent. So, it's something that's happened in the past. That's all we know. And it ain't a crime.
So what, you got a kid? What we talking about? It's 100 things that could go through your mind. What we talking about? Because I'm gonna tell you how foul I was. We was in Barnes and Noble the other day. Now I'm in the section. I'm looking at the Tony Evans Study Bible. I'm like, I should get this. And then I was like, I should probably hold off and find out what my man did first. It's a foul thought, but that was my thing. I had it in my hand, like, this is nice. But I don't know, man. I'm gonna hold off and see.
Hold on.
I'm not
gonna let y'all do my man like that.
Hey, this my guy.
Innocent till proven guilty.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, you know me. It's not a lot of people that I listen to. There's a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I stick with like people that I can relate to.
Yeah.
Or you know what I'm saying? Relate to see. E Mace and you know what I'm saying, and dates, people
Dates.
that certain people I rock with, and Tony Evans has been my OG ever since like Promise Keeper 92 or something like that. That's when I first got introduced to him at Dodger Stadium back in the 90s at Promise Keeper. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even listening to preachers back then. Right. When Tony Evans came out, they're like, oh yeah, he's hard. I like him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, but hey,
what was your
really bad at this. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna hold the speculations a little bit until till things come out. But I was tripping because everybody on social media was trying to do the math. They're like, oh, his wife died and such and such, and then his new wife husband died, and then so if he said this, it must have happened between this time and this time. And I'm like, come on,
are you serious?
I'm like, what? No timeline gives it. Y'all coming up with math? It's like this mathematical. Like, come on, bro.
You know how people are.
Hey, we really bad at this.
No, we are. We don't really know, and like I'm with you on that, Bookie. I'm not gonna speculate. I'm not gonna trash him. I'm not gonna start campaigns like people did with like Diddy and all that. It's like it's not time for that. But we can say this. Like James was like, he said that earlier. Was like, let's give it some time and see what come out. But the reality is like they've already made a statement. Yeah, it ain't finna be too much more.
No more
shared.
Information. Yeah,
not from the church.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Not from a credible source. Unless somebody start coming out and be like, y'all want to know. Here's what y'all want to know. But I'm
gonna tell you who would make something known if they try to put something on somebody else that was a part of it. And they say, oh no, I'm not going down by myself. Y'all not finna do this to me.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. If somebody get pinned with a couple charges, they get to singing. Like nah, y'all gonna do me like that?
Let me tell you who was there.
Yeah, let's run this down since we telling the truth. Yeah, but man, we want the best for my guy, and absolutely love the fact that people are willing to hold themselves accountable. I wish we would see more of that. I wish we would see way more of that, especially in the public sphere. We don't know about all these different churches, but we know the ones that we find out about that hit the culture, that hit the timeline, and we like, I hope this come out right. Yeah. But my man said openly, like, listen, I got to sit back because this wouldn't be something that I would let the next man just keep pushing forward with. That's dope. That's so dope.
He's holding himself accountable. They're under elder rule, which is my church is ran the same way, so I understand that. And so he's not just flying solo, making all these decisions by himself. There's some people he's accountable to, and they've like, okay, man, we want to see you go through this process or go through whatever steps they've all agreed to. And it sounds like he's in that process. So that's all good. Now, sidebar, this is random. How do y'all feel about Red Lobster closing?
Man, I got 4 gift cards at the crib.
Man,
me and wife, we was just talking about that. Like, we got 4 gift cards at the crib.
You better use them right now.
I might go there for my birthday.
Hey, y'all know Red Lobster was serious about like help, like the black community, they was not playing. They knew who was buying their food.
But
they was serious.
I heard, and this, I don't know.
I'm talking about back in the day when it was like, let's go to Red Lobster. Okay,
but I heard
sure.
they ran it in the ground due to doing some like some kind of like little
all you can eat type.
Nah, that's not none of the business stuff.
No?
It was on some franchise stuff. It was on some property stuff. So it's like they had sold all these the properties and then did something crazy to make the owners kind of like buy it back. Oh. It's weird. You gotta look up, read up the story, and that's how they just kind of like. So if it fell off, it didn't really hurt them. They set it up to where it could fall off like it did, and it didn't matter, and it would just fall on the people who owned them, pretty much. But the people who really own the brand, set it up that way. It's a mess, but if you dig.
Listen, the last time I went to Red Lobster, bro, I walked out of there feeling grateful, like I'm doing better in life because I don't think I'm gonna be coming back here.
Yes.
Well,
I ain't gonna lie.
I've been following y'all around, going to some sound places, some quality places with some different ingredients.
We all don't want to sound like that.
And I walked out of there feeling like God is good, man. My taste buds ain't ready for this no more. I used to think this was the best place in the world.
You cannot go to Crest Stations then go back to Red Lobster.
What it is, two things happen.
I've been following y'all around too long.
Nah, dude, I had the same experience. I'm telling you, when me and T went our last time, which was recently, I'm talking about like in the last 60 days, we was there. And we was there on a Saturday. And nobody was in there. It was a Saturday evening, like 8.
Fam.
And we was at the one close over here off of
Don't. My homie that played tennis work at that joint. Don't do that.
And nobody was there. You like don't.
You talking Eaglewood?
Don't do that. Like, come on.
But anyway, we was there, and it was a ghost town on Saturday. I was like, dude, and this is before they made the announcement.
But
I was like, this is a wrap.
So grateful, dog. Like me and wifey was looking at each other like, we done came up in the world. we don't have
to do this.
We started
anymore,
from the bottom.
Boy, man, I got to use my gift cards, dog. They were gifts.
You better,
man. Got to go give you some shrimp scampi and some cheddar biscuits.
That's what they giving away. They giving away tons of shrimp and the biscuits. So go get that. That's all they giving away right about now. Though they used to do the all you can eat crab back in the day, boy.
I haven't been to Red Lobster in. Woo.
You'll find out when you go again. You gonna be like,
a high school date before me and Didi was even married. You know what I'm saying?
Either they different or I'm different. Something is different.
No, we different. Taste buds is different.
Something is different. Y'all been putting me on.
Well, I wanted
to go back.
I wanted to just mention. I know today, if you guys are listening, right when we drop the episode, it is officially Juneteenth today. And what is it? It is most definitely a special holiday for African Americans, and for those who don't know. It was June 19th, 1865, says when some 2,000 Union troops arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas, to announce that like almost 250,000 people enslaved, that they were set free. And they were like the last people that were notified of freedom at that point. And it's just celebrated. And I think Joe Biden, while you be hating on him, Bookie, he was the one made it an official holiday during his presidency. I think that's something that he did for black people.
No, that was before.
That was before. That was a long time ago. When I'm tripping on. But I think he had something to do with it, right?
He don't even remember the day it was. Why am I here?
Come on.
Leave me joke like, why am I here?
Wait a minute. Did you see? This is great. Did you see him?
Video.
You saw the video at the concert?
Yes, I did.
Boy, that Juneteenth concert video, boy, he needed to sit down somewhere, bruh. And it didn't matter. Who was that standing next to him? Because I thought it was a gospel singer. Somebody that was sitting next to him. Standing next to him. Well, I don't know who that black dude was. The one that was on his left.
That
tapped him a couple of times. I was like, man, he should have kept tapping him. at least to make him be like, to make it look more lively. Because he tapped it once and then kind of just, and then the boy just went back into mummy mode.
Man,
like
he was on Sesame Street. He was at Sesame Street.
The boy was in mummy mode.
Let me stop. I'm sorry.
No, that's no. I just wanted to bring that up
Cold, man.
for those who celebrated.
Kurt Franklin did.
He was there.
Singing, yeah.
That's what I'm
By
saying.
Kamala Harris on stage, and she ain't. I don't think she ever heard that song before.
No, the video was funny when she was trying to do the little hand signals that don't love nobody but you. He was doing that when we went to the concert.
Yeah.
Though to see her try to do it, but it's hilarious. She get it a couple times and then she just be like, stop trying to make it seem like this is the thing. But that's
Stop pandering.
That's what politicians do,
Stop
right?
it. Stop
What else do they do?
pandering.
What else do they do, James? What else does she do in that moment?
I expect better. I expect better, man.
These people is WWF. That's straight. My take on it, but that was hilarious. Juneteenth. Oh, your girl was back in the threads. We was talking about her not too long ago. I'm gonna bring up this video. Blac Chyna. What's her real name, James?
Yeah, put some respect on her name. That's Angela White.
Angela
White. Put some respect on her name. She brand new.
Angela White back in the news, making it hot.
Christian doesn't mean that I can't wear this. Prime example, I'm sitting here, yes, I have a little thigh out, a little whatever top this is. You know what I mean? If I like to listen to certain music, that doesn't make me less of a Christian. People need to understand that it's the relationship between me, God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. And that's who all I have to answer to, and that's that.
All right.
Jay, you said she wasn't going to Kanye us. That was your promise to me, was that she wasn't going to Kanye us. You said that. And I trusted you.
But
it's early. It's
still early.
It's still early.
It's still early. We've seen this before.
Come on, man.
This is someone who was famous in the world currently, and then they converted. And so they're new. All this stuff is new. But then because they're famous, unfortunately, they get catapulted in Christian media too.
Immediately, though.
Immediately. And so somebody was like, you've been saved 10 minutes in the threads.
The comments?
Yes, it was like, no, sit down somewhere. No, you need to be listening to somebody right now.
Yes.
We don't need to. How y'all feel about that? Is it one of those examples like, okay, she moving too early. You just got saved. Come on now. It's time to.
She talking real tough.
Are you saying how we feel about her speaking out or the lingerie she had on? That's like two different questions.
I mean,
while I'm up here telling y'all don't call her Blac Chyna no more.
I know, but and then low key, I'm gonna be real because I'm looking at everything when I see this stuff. It's low key a Fashion Nova ad. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So looking at the whole package, I mean, how y'all feel about that? Just let's start with the comment.
The whole package should be like what she said, or
the video, the Fashion Nova logo under this while she's saying it.
You didn't need to know that.
Now she says that's perfectly fine. Now when I first saw it, I was like, that's nothing you can wear to church.
Not at all.
Right. That's gonna be a distraction.
Okay.
Period. So let's not even go there as far as like, no, is she right about that? No, she's clearly wrong about that part. But how do we handle it? Do we roast her or what do we do? I know we move in love. We don't roast her, but come on now. We're forced to respond to this stuff because these people are in the public eye now. And it's like, she said that, and now you got some people maybe on the fence, some unbelievers, and some believers all looking at that because of who she is. And then, like I said, she's entered our media space now, and now how do we respond to this? How do we?
Yeah. My whole world's surrounded by black women, and they seem to catch the short end of every conversation. So I wanna try to ride for her as much as I can. You know what I mean? And that's just I don't know. that's just, I'm thinking about my mom, my grandmother, my wife, my daughters, my sister-in-laws, and everybody in between.
Yeah.
And I feel like we just always dogging the black woman about everything. But when you start telling me all I got to answer to is God, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus, I don't care what none of y'all think, then it's like, okay. All right, you went a little too far with the freedom.
What's problematic with that? Somebody hearing that, because it sounds good on the surface, I can see, but what's problematic, Jane? Just right off the rip,
like nothing that you're doing is just based on just you and God. Everything you know about Jesus, you got from somebody in His crew.
Yeah,
you don't have a group that we call Christianity. That's just I'm flying solo, renegade, rogue. We ain't never seen nothing good come from that. Nope. So I don't want to try. I'm a dude trying to tell somebody how to dress. That feel weird already.
Yeah.
At the same time, when you talking real tough, when you got that much bass in your throat and you telling us, like you said, 10 minutes after you got converted, what you don't have to do, it make me wonder, like, who's in your ear, who's in your corner? Because I don't want to be in your corner. You definitely need a lady, an older lady, somebody that you trust and have some real rapport with. But come on, sis, like, let's tone it down a bit. This is the same thing we saw several times with several celebrities, and it don't end well.
It doesn't.
It don't end well. But I mean, it's early. You know how we do with somebody young. You just let them fumble a little bit. They let me fumble a little bit, so she'll be fine. But in the long run, if something shape up.
And again, once again, the importance of community is needed because you need people to come alongside you that love you, that you trust. That's not just trying to just bash you just because they get off of bashing people and telling people to do the right thing. Not that you'll know in community, this person really cares about me. They really have spent time with me, and this really seems to have bothered them in a way. I need to look at this.
What's a trip is when we really start talking about these clothes, and you go back to what ladies were told to do in the scriptures. You'll find that there's a conversation about costly stuff. And on this video, she got on it looked like $250,000 Cuban link on there. Yeah. Just flooded. That joint look amazing. And, I don't know if it's lab or whatever, but whatever type of diamonds is in that joint look like it costs. Yeah. And it's clear. I don't know how clear it is, but it's a large group of people that we respect that says, hey, before you start getting all off into how much thigh or shoulder you can show, this joint clearly says don't have on costly stuff showing off your economic status. And we think modest, like I'm reading this book, the book says we automatically assume modest is talking about temptation of the eyes and guys seeing too much thigh and all of that. And I'm sure that's in on it. But there's another clear passage, as clear as passages can be. It says, hey, don't be flaunting your economic status.
Yeah.
And so while she's talking real tough, she looked like she got $250,000 around her neck.
But how well do we do,
wild.
not just picking on her, but how well do you think we do in doing that in America?
Doing what?
Not flossing wells at
church.
We're
terrible at that in the church.
I'm like, what?
What you talking about?
I'm like, that's
costly apparel?
That's exactly. That's what I see a lot of. And here in Los Angeles, how many times have we rolled up to church and see people give you a vibe? I remember you've even written songs about it, James, about people giving you a vibe that just like they at the church. I mean, just like they at the club. You rolling up, you know what I'm saying?
Looking fly.
And it's the same, kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. So I know we do a horrible job if the scriptures are clear, like you say, in that, and that we need to be watching that. I don't think we do that. And I don't say that just for women. There's men and women.
In the book I'm reading, the book is dope, man. The book is Misreading Scripture Through Western Eyes. I talk about it because it's like really reshaping the way I see certain stuff, like obviously the title. But what it said is in America, we would think modesty would automatically be talking about sexuality because it's just a hypersexual culture that we're in. Yeah. But we don't think about money that much because we rich. It's one of the richest societies of all time.
Yeah.
So the scriptures are clearly talking through not just modesty. I don't know what scripture it is, but it's a direct command to ladies to not be known for how costly your hairdo is, not be known for how costly your jewelry is, not be known for how costly your clothes are.
Yeah.
And man, we are not reading that like that. We reading don't show too much thigh, like we've been saying. Don't show too much cleavage, don't show too much thigh. That ain't even what that's not the only thing that's talking about. So we got a little more to talk about.
So are you saying that we just both? No, go ahead, bro.
No, I'm well. the first thing that came to mind when listening to y'all talk in the video is this quote that we all know, and we've all heard. With great power come great responsibility.
That's
Uncle
real.
Ben.
Real.
For Spider-Man.
Okay.
It's a wisdom drop by Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, in actuality, this is problem is. She is a celebrity. Mm. She have millions of followers. Mm-hmm. The key word that's missing in most of these situations is discipleship. Yeah. Where's the discipleship? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you're new to the game, I'm not gonna come out there and teach you how to play it. Let me learn first. You know what I'm saying? Let me sit under someone, that's gonna teach me how this thing goes. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so her saying that she's only accountable to Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and you know what I'm saying, this and that. Well, you have people watching you. You have young people who's following you, and not that you're their savior, but they're watching you. Yeah.
You have influence, which is the reason that you are working with Fashion Nova to begin with. Go ahead.
Exactly. And so there is a responsibility with the fame, and so you have to think about like all these things. You're not living. Nobody lives to themselves, and I think that is a problem in the Western world. We just like, my reality is my reality. I do what I want to do, and if it don't bother me, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I don't mind, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Which is false. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be accountable to these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I think whoever, helped her along this road to salvation, whatever, and I think they just need to pull her coattail and be like, look, we're gonna show you how to live this thing out.
Yeah.
Doing life with people really matters.
It does.
It really matters.
Yeah, in the Christian walk, most definitely, it does. So I just thought it was interesting, and hopefully, she does find community, and we do see growth, and she doesn't Kanye us. And
she's not gonna Kanye us, man. This is just the growing pains. We all going through this. I got good vibes here. I got good vibes. I'm rooting for her.
Here was another interesting, I think, videos along the lines of what we're talking about, the church, and it was an interesting take on working with other religions, and is that something that we could do, and what would that look like? But show the video, James. You shared this.
Whenever I've been blessed to speak in a church, I said there was a man drowning in the river one day, and a Muslim and a Christian and a Jew showed up to save him. The Christian threw his rope out, and it was too short to save the man. Then here comes the Jew. He throws his rope out. It's too short to save the man. The Muslim throws his rope out. It's too short to save the man. Now, they got one or two options. Either they going to stand on the bank of the river and argue over whose rope is the best, or they going to use some common sense and tie all three ropes together and save that man. So we at a stage right now where playing word gymnastics and spiritual pontificating and religious game banging and spiritual set tripping has to come to an end. Our people are dying in the streets. We got to tie all the ropes together.
Tie it together.
So truth is...
What y'all think?
Well, we can tie all the ropes together if we're talking about saving people from dying in the streets. But if you're talking about something spiritual, there ain't no way we can separate how we feel. Like, we're going to ride for the set. That's not going to change. But if we're talking about giving away clothes, we're talking about giving away food, rebuilding houses, painting the curbs, and rebuilding the city. If we're talking about education, scholarships, and all the stuff that happens in society, okay, yeah, let's ride. And not everybody don't want to do that because they feel like they're going to get, some dirt on them or whatever. But I think a lot has been done in the name of society with people that we don't agree with. I think we got to be in rooms with those people rubbing shoulders. As soon as you start talking about spiritual stuff, though, that's the end of that. Like, we're going to have a different conversation if we talking about what really happened when we were created and where we go when we die. We're not going to tie no ropes together at that point.
That's what I'm getting from the video. Like, I'm getting him saying, black people in general in America, we getting slayed. Okay. To the point where it's like, we should, on some level, be getting together, like you were saying, in a practical sense. But how do you do that? Who starts that? And why do you start it? It's happened because it happened during civil rights. Martin Luther King worked with all kind of religious groups to try to get, bring social change. And he felt, which I feel is right in this country, that he wouldn't have been able to fully accomplish that without the help of other people, without the help of those other people, because this was a social issue,
Right.
that affects everybody that was in this social group. And he always talked about working with rabbis and working with,
We've done this at work when Jalen has some problem, and then all the coworkers get together and say, let's put a little something together to help folks out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't all agree on nothing else except we love this dude and we want him to be better for whatever this, whatever his situation is.
Yeah.
Let's say he fell at work and he got a certain amount of hours and he running low on his unemployment. Like, let's put something together for. I don't need to know your whole theory on life if we just gonna put $50 together. We just helping my man right now.
Yeah.
I don't need to know your whole story to see if I can link up with you. I'm only linking up to do this, and we know that's all we doing. And so if we marching for cancer research, if we doing a breast cancer fundraiser, I don't need you to agree with everything except we want more research for breast cancer to be gone.
Yeah.
That's all I need from you.
Yeah.
And then we rubbing those shoulders, that's where I can figure out how I can get into a conversation and talk about what we believe and all that other stuff. But we all agree we want breast cancer gone. So let's just do this march for breast cancer. I don't need you to agree with my theology at that point.
Boogie, can you think you could work with the Hebrew Israelites to do something in the community?
Ooh, man.
Wow.
They're part of the reason why I carry my gun in church.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, that's a hard one for me.
Yeah, that's a good one, Jay.
That's a
You don't see a reason, a reason to work with them, or you can't see that.
I don't think they can find a reason to work with me.
Yeah,
because of their ideology. You know what I'm saying? And I'm because this is the thing. Not all roads lead to the same God.
Yeah,
That's facts.
That's facts.
And so, and to the point that like James was making, if my man, say Tom, is in a situation and we're here to help Tom, well, the Black Hebrew Israelite says that he's the devil because he's a white man.
Yeah,
They do say that.
Yeah,
they do.
So it's like, how are we working together on that aspect? You know what I'm saying? So,
but he wanna help some black children in your community make sure they have
get some
breakfast
backpacks and
all
food,
that kind of
that.
stuff. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, yeah, we can do that.
So you're not giving backpacks to nobody who ain't in your little target audience?
So the Black Hebrew Israelite?
Yeah, that's when I'm out.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. That's where I have to draw the line because, like we said, we all created an image of God. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's where the problem lies when working with different type of religious organizations. But like you said, it's an issue in the community. We all come together. We're, trying to help someone get fed, this and that. I have no issue with it.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a clear distinction between us and them.
How you gonna make that distinction? Like, what would that look like? Because we all just giving out backpacks at first. That's what we know we doing. It's back to school.
Well,
but where's the distinction come?
If it's certain Hebrew Israelites, they'd know because they would notice that I'm not dressed like a Power Ranger.
I ain't got no
He
fringes.
is.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He is. That's one thing that they're gonna see. I know that for a fact. And then probably we won't be as loud if we are talking while we're working
Hey, they be
and
loud.
serving. They would say those guys are different.
Right.
And we have to make it clear distinction. Like, yo, bro, if we out here doing this, you're not pushing your agenda while we out here doing this. Because the minute you push your agenda, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna have to find some separation.
Do you
That's
think
fair. I think that's fair, man. That's so.
Yeah,
That's
And
just
I'm gonna make
fair.
it clear right from the top because Yeshua, whatever, Israel, Ben Israel, whatever your name is, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you decided to change your name to last week, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you know, like, yo, the minute this thing changed and you decide you gonna have your man screaming out scriptures while we pass, like, yo, we not doing this, bro.
Got the reader.
Straight up. As soon as the reader get the it's not happening.
Nah, we shut this down.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm open to it.
Why is that their real name, bro?
What is the weirdest thing y'all know about that group? I always talk about their dress because that's what I know, and I don't like. My wife really knows more about the ideology. She's like she studied it more. I kind of I know it from Mason's book. You know, I don't remember much from when we were going through Mason's book, and the section about them. And it's kind of like I remember some of the roots and all that. But what's the weirdest stuff you?
The weirdest thing is where the 12 tribes went. The 12 tribes, like what are the tribes went to Puerto Rico? What are the tribes went to Mexico?
Okay.
And somehow they all ended up being like poor ghetto folks. Like no tribes went nowhere like where it's doing good. Everybody went to the Dominican Republic, Cuba. Nobody went nowhere doing good. They went to the West Indies. You know, they went to Guatemala. One tribe went to Colombia. One tribe went to Argentina or Chile.
So they was like all the tribes ended up in the hood.
All the 12 tribes ended up in the hood. A half tribe of Manasseh, everybody ended up in the hood. Everybody. Nobody went. The Levites went to Haiti. And that's it. That's the 12 tribes. Ain't nobody else getting in. That's the weirdest thing ever. Man. Where them 12 tribes went, dog. I'm sorry.
Hey, what about the hybrid cats? And I'm gonna blur out this person's name. But what about the hybrid cats? Like, what y'all think?
Oh, your boy Freddie Price was talking tough the other day too, wasn't he?
He was. Mm-hmm.
Freddie Price was talking. Freddie Price Jr. from Crenshaw Christian Center.
Oh, talking what? He was trying to be a hybrid.
Man,
he tried to get on that hybrid.
He was on that hybrid.
That Hebrew hybrid.
Yeah. He was on it. Like, I love the Lord.
Yeah.
But the Jews was black.
Oh, okay.
I love the Bible.
Man.
But the white man didn't lie to us. Like, he was on that.
He was on that the other day. I did not know that.
I didn't know either. I don't know. Maybe he just got on that.
I should tap into my boy DeAndre, see if he knows some more about it.
Yeah,
I used to be his boy.
Yeah. But that's crazy how the 12 tribes went somewhere.
The crazy stuff I know is just they dress. That's all I know, and they be loud and just seem like they not happy. Joy, like I ain't never seen no Hebrew Israelite choir. I'm telling you, I be judging some of these religions because they don't have no choir. Cause I'm like, y'all don't serve a God y'all could be happy about. Like, I don't have no God that y'all can sing to, and that's that. To me, that's kind of weird. Now you like, Joe, everybody's God you got to sing to, but think about it. If God is who He is to you, He's your creator. He's done everything, and He's given you everything, which is song, all kind of stuff. To me, it makes sense that you kind of give it back, or you reflect it back, or you do things like sing to God. You sing to your wife. You can sing to your child. You can sing to people. You know what I mean? That it's just a human thing to do. So, of course, at some point, I wouldn't think it odd to be singing to God, who, creator of all. And then you have a religion that's like, nah, we don't do that. We don't sing. And I'm like,
Well, my thing is, look, this is my thing.
Happy, I guess.
I even if I give you the card, the Jews are black and Hispanic. Okay, I give you that.
Let them have that.
At the end of the day, we all got to bow down to Christ, right?
That's it.
So what difference does it make?
That, yeah.
I know they don't want to have that conversation.
They don't talk like that, from what I see.
They don't want to have that conversation.
But it's different sects. They believe different this and that. Like I said, my wife, she's well read about them.
Yeah, I used to study it back, and I remember James. I don't know if you remember. I used to be heavy into like studying what like different religions believe, and because I used to always want to just. I thought just apologetics was just debating everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's why I just wanted to
shutting everybody's mouth.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? 5%. Oh, that I got you. What you would? All right.
Yeah. Won't smoke with everybody.
Yeah. But but that's the thing is like, I give you that. So now what's next? We still got to bow down to Christ. Yeah. But they don't want to. They don't want to deal with that.
They seem like they.
I seen your boys say, man, they was doing their street preaching, yelling at everybody, and then one white lady went by, and he was like, "You gonna be my slave in the afterlife?" just like that. I was like, wow.
I be thinking,
I see what
is
dude,
that
like,
guy thinking
you
about?
sodomite.
Yeah,
Like, what?
Edomite. Edomites gonna be my slaves in the next life.
What is this?
like,
Like,
bro,
man, what are you talking about, bro? Like,
This
oh
is
my God.
wild.
I just be like, that dude need a hobby of some sort, something. I be like, cause they just seem angry, like, and I can't. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but I just can't.
Caters.
I can't stay angry about my religious belief. Like,
But if you
day.
saw the way that some power classes treat like oppressed people, you would obviously want to find a way for us to be better than them. Like God prefers us.
Yeah,
No,
I
y'all
get
not
that.
gonna get away with this. Like that's got to be some part of that anger.
Yep.
Y'all not gonna get away with this. And I feel some of that. I think we all feel some of that. But still, when you see the scripture say like, it don't matter what your bloodline is, it's what you believe. That's what makes you one of the chosen. And then you see like they don't want to. They say that ain't talking about that. Like, well, what else would it mean? Well, it don't mean what you say it mean. Like, all right, man. If we're not gonna have a mature conversation about what Apostle Paul wrote, then how are we gonna get anywhere?
They just want to talk about the ships in the Old Testament. Like, yeah, these are the ships we came up. Like, what?
Somebody told me a long time ago when religious groups want to camp out in the Old Testament, it's usually a red flag. Like they not taking the whole of Scripture. What we believe this is whole of Scripture, Old and New Testament. When they just camp out in that, it's always problematic. It is. It's so funny when you think about it. For a lot of false religions.
For sure.
That is. And speaking of false ideologies, I don't know. It was so funny. This was, I think, another one of yours, James, of astrology and how we view it. I think this was your girl Amber Rose asking, what's your boy's name? Neil deGrasse Tyson about astrology. And I felt this way, but let me play the video first.
Depending on where the planets are, can that affect us physically? Like the Mercury in retrograde, is that a real thing for you? Do you believe in that?
The good thing about science is when it's true, it's not a matter of whether you believe in it. It would be true for everyone at all times. When it really mattered to people what the planets were doing in the sky, in that day, we're talking 2,000 years ago, Earth was believed to be in the center of all motion. We would later learn and confirm that the sun is in the center of that motion and not Earth.
Yes.
So what we see is Mercury going around the sun right in front of our eyes. But Mercury is always going forward. If you went to a car race and you're watching the car go around the track and it comes from left to right in front of you and then it goes right to left on the other side of the track, You don't invent a word for that. You don't say, that car is now in retrograde. No, because the car is always moving forward.
So you're saying there's no truth to that. This is just made up astrology.
It is left over from a time when people's egos were so large that they actually believed that a planet in the sky gave a rat's about anything in your life.
Now, I've felt that way about astrology, not just for that. That's a scientific way of looking at it and this, and it just was never like consistent. It always just felt random, and people would be like, "Oh, you're a Taurus, so you're an energetic person." I used to be like, that's so vague, and I'm like, of course that person's gonna be like, yeah, it just felt like it was a lot of room that people play around with that stuff. So and he just pretty much was just saying that it was thought, over 2,000 years ago. But then here's another question that comes up, because I've listened to a lot of Neil deGrasse Tyson in the past, and he would say the same thing about the Bible. He would say, those people, old shepherds, they know nothing about science,
right.
And so their egos are so big they want to fill in the gaps. And so he would say that, so how do you feel about that? So he uses that to this, but he would also use the same kind of logic to Christianity.
Hey man, broken clock is right twice a day. That's what I say. I say like he knows what he's talking about when it comes to the science. I don't need him to try to tell me what happens outside of science, and all the stuff I believe about Jesus happens outside of science. So I'm listening to him tell me something that I already believe. Like I've heard people born in every month tell me how they get angry. I've heard people that born in every month tell me about these little characteristics that we all have. Like you're not the only person that thinks about those things. You're not the only, these people over here, they a little more violent.
Yeah, you're a Capricorn, so you think deeply about your loved ones, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm like,
What?
I be like, man.
Somebody was saying, "Oh man, I'm a Gemini, so don't listen to nothing I say. I can switch up at any moment." That's what people are saying. Like, what? And we met people born in every month that act like that.
That actually can do
like
that.
Two-faced people born every day. Like this is not going to be about your birthday.
Yeah.
This is about you having some integrity. This ain't something, and you only see in the scriptures like that's how the pagans get down. You clearly see God's prophets saying, "Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't look to the stars or the planets for nothing." That's how they get down. We don't get down like that. So once I hear once I hear them shut that down in one verse in the Bible, I'm like, okay, that is not us.
Yeah,
and it ain't nothing to that.
Beyond navigation, the seasons and time and stuff like that, that's just natural stuff. I don't see why I would be looking at the stars for it.
It's interesting for sure. It's so cool to be able to blame somebody else for your foolishness. It's so helpful to be able to say, "Oh man, if the Mercury wasn't in retrograde, I wouldn't even be acting like this." Like it's so much more fun to be able to say it's somebody else's fault, man. I'm only acting like this because it's the third moon, it's the quarter moon, and that's how I get like this. And like, come on, man.
Man, stop it.
If you don't want to have integrity, just say that.
Mookie, you ever believed in the stars and the quasars at any point in your life? You're like, man, it could be some truth to that.
The quasars.
You know, I've never really dipped into that situation. You know what I'm saying?
You ever knew somebody who that was real? I remember back in the days, it was a young lady. I remember she was like really into it. She had books and all kind of stuff. Like,
it's a lot of people that's into it.
Like,
Yeah, especially the.
It don't seem like it's gonna play out either.
Yeah, nah, it's that hippie community, and I know. I want to say like
that hippie
south of the border, they're really into it also.
Oh yeah,
they really heavy into it. I had a couple people that I knew that's really into astrology. They're really into it, and it'd be interesting things like because I'm a Gemini. And sometimes I can turn on and off on people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think that people born in the same months do have similar personalities.
You believe that? You see that?
So when I'm moody, who do I get to blame? Because I'm not born in the months. Yeah. Who do I blame when I'm moody? I need somebody to blame.
You're Aries, right? Ain't you close to it or something like that? Yeah, you love. Yeah,
he don't want to claim his. He don't even want to claim his.
I believe the stars on them.
He don't even want to claim his side. I guess.
Yeah. I believe
in that world. That's what I am. But to Jesus, no.
You got to do all that. You got to do all of that.
Nah, but I think that a lot of people fall into that because I think the outer space, the stars, the moon, and everything. You know what I'm saying? They do have a little like gravitational pull and all that. You're dealing with the ocean and all that kind of stuff.
That is, yeah.
So they like connect all of that together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why you cheated on me? Because the ocean was pulling you towards old boy? That's why you cheated on me? Like, come on, man. How far are we taking this?
Nah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what part of it is interesting to me. Like what part of that? And it's never. Some things have been appealing to me, but that has never been.
It's not like a thing that like, oh yeah, this could be true.
Exactly.
It's like reading a comic strip. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm trying to
June
say
15th. What's gonna happen? You know what I'm saying?
And I'm trying to, and maybe because I grew up in a Christian context, but I'm trying to think: was there ever a time where I was like, oh, it could be something to that? I remember one time it was after one of them things. One of them concerts at Truth Entertainment, and I remember us having a long conversation one night, eating after one of those things because one of the girls, I remember one of the young ladies was at the time was kind of into it a little bit.
Okay.
She was doing a little hybrid.
Yeah,
Little hybrid, boy, them little hybrids be making me. And the hybrid is when somebody tries to take their Christianity and marry it with some other strange ideology. And I remember arguing with her because she was trying to be like, nah, it's more to it. The Bible is talking about, because people will do that. They're like, nah, the Bible is saying more about the stars and this, that, and the third. I'm like, nah, the Bible is very clear about the stars and what they are for. And
nah, he made the stars so that you could tell signs. They could tell you signs. Yeah, like when to wake up and start working when the sun come out. That's the sign you was getting from the stars and the sun and the planets.
Are you on a boat and you trying to figure out, am I going north tonight?
Yeah.
Or I'm headed south? Well, I can look up in the sky and see that, oh, there is the North Star. I'm heading north. I'm heading the right way. So
Question.
yeah.
Did y'all hear this one?
What?
My man did an interview. Old boy from the Pimp movie.
Oh, Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Terrence Howard explained the moons and the stars, the sun and the stars. No, the suns and the planets. That's what it was.
Okay.
The sun being the Son of God,
Okay.
and the 12 planets being his disciples. That's where the Bible get that from.
It's 12 planets.
12 planets and the Son of God, and the 12 disciples.
Are there 12 planets?
Are there
now?
12 planets? And
I don't know. This is
I'm
what
gonna
Terrence
check.
Howard said, bro.
I'm going to check with Neil. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm going to check with him first to see how many planets that
It's
we have.
8 and Pluto. He ain't gonna get to 12.
The man said it's 12 planets, and those represent the 12 disciples. That's where
Well,
the
I'm
Bible
gonna tell
got
you,
that from.
recently, because Terrence has been out here in the news sounding super smart.
That's when he had the wig on too. I'm just letting you know.
That's his real hair, man. When you on this hair, hey, be careful when you start growing your hair like that. It's getting a little cultish, a little cult leaderish.
Nah, they
when
got
you start
some movie,
growing your hair out.
That's some movie role he
right.
playing. I seen it on. They've been running the ads for it. It's some Samuel L. Jackson, him, Kevin Hart, somebody. All
Okay,
in
that's for a movie.
Oh yeah,
What's for the movie?
that
the
wig. Did he hear that wig?
the wig.
I get
But he did an
nervous.
interview with
it on.
With it on, yeah.
Yeah.
And the interview was a serious interview.
My fault. I just get nervous
Yeah.
when people start growing their hair out. They get into their Jesus
My man
bag.
is-
They start cults.
What do y'all think? Do y'all think genius, or he just full of it? You don't know.
Both, man. Gotta be.
Yeah, I
You
think
think
gotta
it's
be
both?
both.
You think it's a little bit?
Because he got real patents.
That is for
yeah,
sure.
that he had.
People looked it up,
But,
dug
yeah.
it up online. Like, no, he really does.
Yeah.
He one of them dudes when he start talking, you just be like, I don't know what is not right about what you saying. I'm not smart enough to
I
even keep
remember
up with you, but something ain't
A
right about what
long
you
time
saying.
ago, I knew he was smart, but I remember a long time ago, you could probably still dig it up. He was on the Breakfast Club, and it was one of his first, or maybe first few interviews being on there. Period. And they on there interviewing him or whatever, and this was probably around the hustle and flow time, right? But he spent I remember the interview because he spent a long time talking about how he was into making his own diamonds now. Like I got a company, I make my own. You can grow your own diamonds. He was
Yeah.
on there pushing that. Like I
Yeah.
make my own pink diamonds.
Lab diamonds
So,
big now.
Exactly. And this was years ago before they got big.
Before it popped off.
Now, just what you said. Now it's big.
It's
now
normal.
it's a thing.
It's normal.
So I was like, nah, he's smart. He's the dude that be ahead of the curve. But then some of the stuff he's talking about, it was just like there's one video where he's going over this mathematical equation with a couple of dudes, and it's dope. And he's telling one dude to put in the equation one way and put it, and then another. You've seen that video and how they come to different. Now that'll happen. I'll be like, nah, he's smart.
They got us counting wrong, he said.
Yeah. he and he talks about how there is no zero.
No zero,
No zero. I've seen that. And the arguments, when you listen to it, you be like,
I ain't gonna lie. I be like, yo, hey, I
sounds
was doing the
like-
calculation. Like, oh, yo, that dude kind of makes sense.
I'm like, this dude is on this.
It sound good till somebody owe you some money, and then the math get real simple when you owe me some money, bro. It's a zero. It's a zero now. You owe me some money. and you need to pay.
He's an interesting cat. That's an interesting dude, and I don't know, but I'm with y'all. I think it's a mix.
Hey, these dudes get lost, man. We've seen some of these genius type folks that's way ahead of us in certain areas, and they real good at their craft, or they real good in one gifted area, and then they start thinking that translate to every part of life, and it usually doesn't. We're usually good at one or two things.
Most people,
and then when you get to that next thing where you've been successful in these 2 or 3 fields, and then you start feeling like, oh man, I could tell you everything about everything. Like, no, you can tell me a few things about a few things. You can't tell me everything about everything.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. That's so dangerous, because it's like I respect him in the areas where he's obviously proven himself. That don't mean it translate to all the other areas of life. Like we missing out, like listening to the wrong folks about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
It was wild to hear him.
No. But switching gears though, you were back on some crazy church stuff. This is kinda old, but Jay, you had some take on this. This was your boy, Jamal Bryant. What is he known for? Before this is what I remember him for. He was talking about, wasn't he the one talking about selling weed at the church? Was that him or somebody?
Yeah, that was him.
All right,
that was him.
That's what I know him for. The first minister of the cloth to say, you know what, we need to open up a dispensary in LA too. Hey. That's what he's known for. So he's.
It did say the smoke filled the room when the Holy Spirit came in.
Let him tell it like that. Let him tell it like that. He probably preaches that like that. But anyway, he wanted to, I guess, initiate an apology at some point. And let me just go on, throw it on there.
Good evening, everyone. First, Bishop, thank you for having me. This means more to me than it does to you. I want to get past pleasantries before we have a conversation. I am here because the Black church owes this community an apology.
Wait a minute. An apology for what?
I wanted to come tonight. Not
and he's
just
talking about to
as
the
Pastor
LGBTQ community. He wanted to, on the behalf of the Black church, and I'm glad he could speak for every African American church represented in America. He wanted to, on the behalf of all of them, to issue an apology. And Jay, what was your concern with this?
Yeah, so the Tony Evans things brought this up for me. The Tony Evans thing, where Tony Evans came out and did something that you would probably do if you was caught up in something and wanted to do it well and wanted to say, all right, I dropped the ball, y'all. I'm about to go fall back with my folks, and we're going to get this right. And we're going to get this right. And I'm sorry, and we're going to get this right. And so my man has it's good idea, but poor execution. And this is kind of old, but what I wanted to ask y'all is, when he sat down with the LGBT community, he picked a affirming pastor, somebody who affirms that lifestyle, still calls himself a Christian and has a church. That's who he chose to sit down with and say he was sorry to.
Yeah.
Would you stay at a church like that? Would you stay if your pastor gets down like that? Because I'm sure, like, some people, if they find out what Tony Evans did, they might be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not staying for that." Would you stay? I mean, if you went to that church and this is the thing that you found out your pastor did, he's going and he's sitting down with LGBT affirming
and he's
ministries,
and you saying he's going around and apologizing, would you rock with that?
I'm cool with the apology. Why are you sitting down with these folks? I think there's a lot of merit to the idea that, hey, as Christians, we dropped the ball on this LGBT interaction. We should be better neighbors. We should have been better neighbors. And I'm saying, like, from what I can remember, like, we bullied this crew for a long time. It was a lot of room between saying we gonna stand with God and, you know, beating them up in the alleys and all that type stuff that was going on when we was little.
Yeah.
And we've come a long way, but an apology sounds all right to me. I'm okay with the apology. Why you sit down with them though? Why are you sitting down with people that's saying that the Bible affirms that lifestyle? Why is that who you sitting down with?
Yeah.
You validating them on some level. We was told to stay away from certain folks. If If any brother come doing anything else, y'all supposed to mark that person and avoid that person. Mark them and avoid them. Like, take note of them and avoid them. Like, do not stand next to them. Don't platform them. We've been commanded to do that.
Yeah.
And so at his level, can you stay at a church where your pastor gets down like that?
I don't know. Like, for me, like, and that's why I mentioned, like, right out the gate, what is this dude known for, right? For me, he doesn't have a good representation, like a good reputation, period. And so I'm not looking at him as somebody who really represents the church. I'm quick to do that. I understand how that could look to other people, whatever, but for somebody who's actually in the church and understands, I have a good handle on what the Bible says about most of these things that we're dealing with in a public sphere like this and socially. And so I feel like he himself, that's just me, he doesn't represent the church.
That's first.
Right? So that's because if he did, he wouldn't be moving like this. And at some point, that's not to say that we can't make mistakes. We do something wrong publicly, and then we go back and say, oh, no, this wasn't the best or whatever. But somebody who has this kind of reputation, to me, I'm not even like tracking with you. Like, I don't care what he goes and says. After you say, man, you know what, we should sell weed as a part of the ministry. Now, for somebody who, even if I felt like somebody has liberty to do that, I wouldn't want to involve the church in doing something like that. Like, so for somebody to even be thinking like that, to go like, well, I'm going to go and speak for the Black church and go apologize to the LGBT community. I'm like, I'm with you, James. I don't see anything wrong with saying, yo, to this community, we have done some things in the past, owning up to some of the mistakes that we have maybe made
as a church,
as a neighbor. Like you said, that's most definitely, we need to own that, right? But as far as like platforming somebody who we know is in error, and you could be promoting marrying the Bible with something wrong, and you're like pushing that, like I'm sorry, that's stuff that false churches do, unbelievers do, people who say that they're for God, but you watch how they move, and all of these actions are just anti-biblical, whatever. It's like, to me, I added up to, like I said, they not really a part of what I think God is really, really doing. If so, they wouldn't be moving and doing that. And some of this is because people are not being like led by just trusting God. And so people are moving like celebrities, even within the quote unquote church, or people who are church world, and they got to make moves to save face and be nice and be cool and be political and all this other stuff, because that's how they keep people at their churches. That's how they keep people on.
He was there though. He was doing it. He was saying, listen, we dropped the ball. Like, that's the part that I'm like, yeah, I feel that. We dropped the ball, y'all. We traditionally, especially in the Black culture, Black church culture, we've been doing too much. We've made this the super sin. So I'm like, man, you on to something. And then you go sit down with somebody that we can't even rock with at all. I would almost be more impressed if you'd went and hung and did this with some activist group.
Yeah.
Somebody who's clearly on that side, not trying to act like it's any type of Christian nothing.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you try to marry the Christian with the affirming stuff, it's like, oh, no, it's a specific way we got to rock with somebody who's betraying us.
Yeah.
Somebody who's giving a totally different version of this. That's very different than somebody who's completely outside, don't have no affiliation to us. That is something that we can rub shoulders with them all day. But we got specific instructions for people who's like half doing this. It's you treat them differently. You treat them differently. We can't just sit next to them.
You're not loving. Bookie, does he sound like he's loving?
Yeah.
He sound like an Aries. I'm just joking.
See?
Sound like an Aries. For real. Well, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not I don't like, I really have a disdain for all these cats that's just like Hollywood with it. I know real pastors, I know real ministers, and I know the real sacrifices that they give to be pastors, how they get dirty with the sheep, and they're in the trenches with the people that they serve. Like I see that, and then I see somebody like him. I'll be like, man, please. And it's sad because these charismatic cats, celebrity feeling like type cats, it seems like they always gonna have a crowd. They always gonna have people following them. They always gonna have people put money in their pocket. But at the same time, you can see all of that, but that don't mean that God is with them, man. Just because, you see him in the public eye, and you see him jumping out the jets and the certain vehicles and all that other stuff. That's keeping that crowd in front of them. But for those who I think are really in the trenches, really love God and really just love people, damn, we don't be following them people.
Yeah,
man.
I like the vibe that I'm hearing lately, where it's like people are calling out the listeners and the members, like, why are you letting this man place should be empty. As soon as he hit the mic, it should empty out. I like that. There's been a little bit of a vibe like that on social media. Like, y'all are complicit in this. Y'all are not innocent. It's not just false prophets gathering listeners. The scriptures say it's listeners gathering teachers. Y'all are complicit. I like that. There's a little bit of a push for that to be like, hey, y'all should empty this place out. As soon as somebody like that try to lead, y'all should get out of there. I like that. I think there's a little bit more of that's needed, where it's not just, false prophet, false teacher. It's like, nah, y'all listening, and the scriptures say that y'all are the ones looking for these people who going to tell you what you want to hear. Y'all are involved in this. Y'all not innocent parties in this.
Hey, y'all remember, this random, y'all remember, this is when we were little. Y'all remember this show like Battle of the Network Stars? Y'all remember that?
Oh, it's like vaguely.
Nah, what it was like you took all the famous shows that's popping at the time, right? On all the different networks, but they got together and did like an Olympics type competition, like all physical stuff, like stuff that we would do at picnics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was just an all out competition, and it was people who you didn't think would ever get together because they were stars on different networks. But this was the battle of the network stars. So you was bringing all these celebrities together, and I was thinking, man, it might be some entertainment value in bringing all these like wacky pastors together and making them do physical challenges to see who's like really, really, really about that life, like really about trying to like win the crowd, because that's what they for. They really about trying to win the crowd.
Yeah. They had preachers of LA.
So yeah, that was a rough one, boy. That
train wreck.
Dude, I walked away never looking at Noel Jones the same. like it was like he was already on the suspect list, right? But after that show, I was like, never. This I don't understand how people follow this. Like, after seeing all of this, how can you be like, man, that's the dude I'm gonna trust with my soul? Not that cat, bruh. I'm sorry. Sorry, No Jones fans. I'm sorry. And he right here where I am. I'm in Gardena. He's actually like, he got a new building over here that they've been meeting. I noticed.
Across from the Hustler.
Yep. Over there. And
such fitting.
Yeah, and it was a. Oh man, it was
such a fitting location.
Like yes, it's a fitting location because it was like a failing like medical center, just like bad, and he just moving in there, and they got some of them Christian Crenshaw, old school evidence chandeliers in there. And the reason I say evidence,
that song, that song.
Evidence. Dude, that is a whole vibe. You mix that kind of music with a chandelier, that is the vibe.
It's
but
pictures of that crowd. Boy, I'm checking them out next Sunday for sure. Yes, I remember listening to that dude. He was telling me everything I wanted to hear. I was like, yeah. Then he said, everybody gonna be rich and healthy.
Boy,
and I was like, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Wait just a minute.
Evidence. Well, I'm trying to tell you, boy.
They had your boy Clarence McClendon on there too, right? McClendon,
It was a mess, man.
He's a classic, masses, classic. Yeah.
And it make you feel like, because it was some real transparent moments at the reunion. If you ever watched the Preachers of LA reunion, then they started talking about the different stuff they had to deal with in their marriages and divorces and whatnot. You felt like at the end of the day, I know we treat them like characters and caricatures and whatever. These are real people, man.
That's real.
These are real people, and they almost like the scriptures kind of say, deceiving people, but also being deceived.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, of course we want to treat them like the ops or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm like, dang, man, this don't work. Like, have y'all seen the Carl Lentz podcast? Carl Lentz was one of the dudes that blew up the Hillsong New York thing. And it's all kind of documentaries and stuff about him on Netflix and everything.
Yeah.
So he started a podcast recently. And he's sitting down with his wife, talking about his affairs. He's sitting down with his kids, talking about what happened when he got kicked out the church. This man is like, man, it's so deep because the kids is crying, the wife is crying. You're talking about all the stuff he did, being in rehab. The kids is talking about what happened to them when they had to leave church and go to this other church. And I'm thinking like, man, we treat them like they like comic book villains, when we just see them on the timeline. But these is real folks. Like Carl Lentz sounded like he was really, like he was crying. His kid wrote him a letter on his way to rehab. Like his preteen kid or something like that was like, hey, Dad, like this is the right thing to do. I'm rooting for you. Like go to rehab, get yourself right. Man, he was like crushed that his kid had to encourage him to take rehab serious. Yeah. So I'm like, so we look at them like, oh yeah, they the villains or whatever, but these are real lives, man. I know we don't make excuses for the stuff they doing, just like I don't want to make no excuses for my stuff, but the way he was talking sounded real. Because my first response was like somebody hired him, like somebody had, I think Transformation Church hired him to be on their staff, like after all of this stuff fell apart. And your first instinct is like, man, who hiring this dude after all the stuff he did at Hillsong? He like single-handedly took the Hillsong empire down, it feel like.
I don't know all the stuff that I remember his name sounded familiar. And again, my wifey, I think, talking about that.
Man, he on there telling all his business, crying. And it sounds like, here's how I try to measure stuff. What would I do if I was in that situation? He sound like I would sound if I was truly sorry for cheating on my wife, getting hooked on drugs, blowing up my whole ministry, and all my friends come down, crashing down with me. He sound like somebody that like really saw what he did.
The same dude that was like discipling Justin Bieber and all that.
Yes, man. Yes, it's cool. But if you hear people talk, see, this is how I watch this stuff like a vaccine. When I see people crashing and burning, they come to tell on themselves. I watch it like a vaccine. Like, all right, James, pay attention. Here's what's going to happen if you go this route. Here's what's going to happen if you start wilding out on your marriage, on your kids, on your ministries. Yeah. Here's what's going to happen. I watch it like, yo, this is the fallout. Yeah. This is the dirty, soft underbelly of what happens when you fall apart. And, we just notice it as a headline, and then we move on. But somebody's whole family got to deal with that. They don't have nowhere to leave. Yeah. They got to sit through that. And they've been sitting through that for years. Watching the kids cry, man, it broke my heart, man. Watching the kids, it was like
that's another one of those casualties, I think, of just celebrity pastor stuff. Like, I always use that word, and I've been using it a lot this episode, is with pastors and celebrity, because in America, I think we've created this monster, and it was never to be like created. That's how I feel. I feel like your church, our church, those are normal situations. That's how they should be. What do I mean by that? About the number of people that are there, how close you can get to the pastor, how much time you can spend with leaders in your church. Same with, I think that's normal, right? These Hillsongs, Crenshaw Christian Centers, these big establishments, I think it's something abnormal about it when they're ran a certain way. And we talked about some of this a little bit before. And we've created leaders in these things that weren't supposed to be. I think they could be that size, but they would have to be governed differently.
Okay, so
they
when
had
you
to
say-
be governed by a lot of different pastors that could really get in the lives of all those people, because this is about life on life. So you got to figure out, I don't care your size, you got to figure out how can we create life on life circumstances with this situation. But when you create these auditoriums where this one guy shows up once a week, and the main thing is we're just going to the auditorium to see the guy speak, and he's the man, very charismatic, but that's all that's to the church for the most part, is this auditorium and this dude. You create this monster.
So question, when you say normal, do you mean like healthy? When you say like this is what's normal,
Yeah,
do you mean
normal,
like this
I mean
is what
healthy.
the numbers show most churches are doing? Or are you saying this is what scripture say would be healthy? What do you mean by normal?
Healthy, scripture would say healthy is when we're doing life on life.
Okay. And that can look a lot of different ways, right?
And it can look a lot of different ways, but it's still going to be life on life at the end of the day. Like, it's doing life with people. So what's doing life? What's a part of your life? Family, work, school, whatever stage of life you're in. Doing
Money.
life is taking care of those things, whatever stage of life is
Money, business, career, all that.
all that. That's doing life, right? If you cannot do life with your church family, something is off. And what I'm saying is, in the big models, they usually don't model small community. They come to church on Sunday. We have a bunch of ministries that you could be involved in, but it's just ministries to be involved in, things to serve.
Yeah.
Now some could argue, well, that's where you'll find community. You can,
Right.
possibly, if that's what is being modeled and that's what's being pushed, and you can break the congregation down, and I can still get to a leader. I'm having an issue. I need some help, and I can pick up the phone and really can get to. It's working. I'm saying it can work like that, but what I saw mostly in the big community is it didn't lead to small group. It led to, and I was at a big church. My brother, still, at one. And I see the difference, and I can't ignore it. It's been decades now, and I see the difference. I see how this group of people talk about the church. I see how this group of people talk about, and I see why. This group over here is kind of going to an entertainment center. They're not really connecting with people, and the only thing they know about is the message that was talked about on Sunday, or that's what it appears, or that's what it can easily be.
Yeah.
Because when it's a large auditorium situation, you can easily go in and go out without knowing anybody. And a lot of people like that, what Boogie was talking about earlier. Like, we live in this individualistic society where that works, where I can just go in, get my little church, and then I could be out in time to go see the game or whatever else I got to do. I done did my little church thing.
Check the boxes.
And I hear people talk like that. That ain't community talk. That ain't church. You're doing something else. And these people lead these things. So, and I don't know when it got popular, but between, obviously, when scripture was written and fast forward to 2024, between that time, we have done something different in America when it comes to church. And I don't know, was it greed? Was it tent revivals? I don't know what made people stop just doing life on life with people and then move to this come on to the arena type thing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe those who listen can educate me and let me in on some insight of how we got here to that. But I've come to the conclusion, like, dude, it's not really that helpful. I see it being more hurtful than helpful. And I know people may disagree, but you should. But that's my perspective is just mega churches, I don't know who they helping. I really don't. Bookie, you want to set it up?
You want to play the video?
You want to play it first?
Yeah.
So let me tell you guys about my stepdaughter, all right? She wants her real daddy to walk her down the aisle. Now let me give you a little backstory on me and my stepdaughter. She just graduated from university, which I paid for. Now, she went to an in-state university, but it still cost me about $40,000. Now, I also bought her a car. I bought her a car straight after high school. That way she could go back and forth to school. I bought her a car. She still lives with me and her mother. She does not have a job. Now, she's set to be married on August the 8th. And for the past 6 months, that's all her and her mother been talking about doing. Being occupied with, being consumed most of their time. Now, her daddy, he don't contribute to not 1 cent on her. Not her education, not child support, which is partly her mother's fault because, you know, she didn't fight for that. And I guess that's just what the settlement was. And he only around to make promises. I do that for you, I do this for you, and then take off. And then she'd be heartbroken. But she adores her father, right? So, like I said, she's set to be married in August. And the wedding venue, I told them they could have it in my home. The wedding venue can hold about 250 people, right? Now, I said, hey, I got a list of 20 people that I want to come to the wedding. I'm paying for this at my house. I want these 20 people to come. Do y'all know Saturday, I see one of my friends at the golf course, right? He's supposed to come to the wedding. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna see you at the wedding, right? He said, I only got an announcement. I didn't get an invite. I'm like, nah. I'll let my girlfriend and stepdaughter know to send out the invitations on these few people, and you're supposed to get an invite. He said, I got something, but it was an announcement. So we walked to his car because I want to check, right? And sure enough, it was an announcement. So I went and talked to my girlfriend and said, did you invite those 20 people to the wedding that I told you about? Man, she didn't invite none of them.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So this was a Instagram reel that I came across.
Yeah.
And so the whole story is this man has a girlfriend that lives with him. And also the daughter of his girlfriend lives with him. So he's been taking care of the daughter and the girlfriend for years, right? Like he said, he put her through school, bought her car, this and that. The biological father doesn't do anything for her, right?
Yeah.
And so as he said that she's getting married, 250 people, and the wedding is at his crib, right? And so he just wanted 20 people. And at the end of the day, he thought these 20 people got invitations and they didn't. They just got the announcement. So he go back and asked the girlfriend and the daughter, did y'all invite the 20 people? They said, no, we don't have enough room. Your 20 people can't come.
Yeah.
Now, mind you that the wedding is at his crib. He's paying for everything, you know. And then they have wedding dinner. The father, the biological father, shows up at the dinner.
Yeah.
The daughter makes an announcement while he's there. My biological father's gonna walk me down the aisle. My man is crushed.
Yeah.
He's crushed. So in the post in the comment section, everybody's going in, and so reading the comments, everybody is saying this man need to get over this and that. Me, I'm like, hold on. First of all, you're going through all of this. You need to get a deuces to the girlfriend and the daughter. Because if I put all this money in your life,
Yeah.
the wedding is at my crib,
Yeah.
and I asked for 20 people, and you tell me no, my 20 people can't come, guess what? Your whole wedding party can't come. Matter of fact, I need y'all to get y'all bags, and I need y'all to bounce. And then you're going to tell me the biological father going to walk me down. I'm shocked in front of everybody. Now I got that D-Iggity look in my face at my crib. Totally disrespectful.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
But there's women in the post saying that he needs to get over it. He needs to suck it up, be a man, and get over it. What?
Yeah.
Suck it up and get over it.
Now listen. I get what they're saying in one aspect, and I know what the ladies is saying because I heard it a little bit in his story that he was telling is that he limited the party to 200 some people, right? And he got a max of space, right? But see, that puts a lot of pressure on everybody involved in the wedding, because it's only going to be a certain amount of people that can come, and those lists can grow fast. So what the women are probably saying is, it's her wedding, so she wants her friends and family to be there. The groom wants his friends and family to be there, and we gonna max that too. Dad, I'm sorry, it ain't your wedding, so I understand that perspective. Now, Buki, I'm with you though. You would think that my 20 gonna get in no matter what.
No matter what,
because I'm paying for it. But I'm gonna tell you what this screams to me, that what he's discovering, what he's finding out, is that his relationship with his stepdaughter ain't that tight. And it sounds like he found out during this whole scenario.
He found out his relationship with the girlfriend ain't that tight either. Because if I put in all this bread and you can't step up as my girlfriend and says, yo, nah, Buki 20 friends is getting in.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Listen.
Yeah.
They're getting in.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be a discussion.
It shouldn't be a discussion.
My 20 people should be in the top 40 people that's on the list.
But think about the scenario. He's not biological. So who you
My
think
money biological. My crib is biological.
But you should see, but you should know, it's not hard for you to understand how mama and daughter is tight. So they gonna probably be on the same team with this wedding planning. Come on, think about the scenario.
They can be on the same team when they filling out that rent application at a new apartment somewhere. You know what I'm saying? They definitely gonna be on the same team. Matter of fact, tell your biological that he can co-sign for y'all, and y'all can all be one big happy family.
Yeah. See, and he's obviously, and I would understand. I totally relate to him. And understand, like, yo, I would be upset too. I would be totally upset in that scenario. But it's just cold because, like I said, this is just a reflection about how tight you are with them. And obviously, it's not that tight in the sense that you can't squeeze 20 people in. And then, the whole walking down the aisle thing, see, again, I'm going to have to be I've seen many different scenarios, wedding scenarios of biological and who was there and step and all that. And if the step is representing, he usually gets to walk down the aisle. Right. You know what I mean? It's like the best man wins, pun intended.
She has two arms, so if you got the biological and the step holding one arm each, then
we can do it.
It's fine. We can do that.
That's what Angel did. My first daughter she's my stepdaughter, but I mean I've been in her life since I met her mom, obviously. But when she got married, she decided that that's what she wanted to do. Yeah. So I got a chance to be on one arm and her biological was on the other arm. So it's about if the stepdaughter is solid. Yeah. That's what it's really about. Because Angel is solid. Like she been legit since day one. It's one of my heroes. Yeah. And if you look at her life she been thorough the whole time. Yeah. She been solid the whole time. Yeah. So this wasn't no special play for me, and I was at her mercy because I couldn't afford to pay for no wedding. I didn't have no leverage to put nobody on no list. I couldn't afford to pay for her wedding. And her husband paid for her wedding, and the family chipped in where they could. Yeah, and I wasn't in position to pay for no wedding or make no kind of demands. Yeah. She decided that. Yeah, she decided that.
The stepfather is paying for everything.
Yeah, that's
in
different.
This scenario.
That's different.
It's at his crib. He's paying for everything.
Yeah,
and you got me serving champagne. While you and the biological walking down the aisle, I'm in the back serving champagne to everybody. Yeah. Like, come on, bro.
Nah, I totally, I
the way he set that up was cold. I've been paying you through college. I done bought you a car. I've been doing everything. My man ain't been doing nothing. All he got is empty promises, and this how you get down. Like, I'm taking notes. Like, I might not be able to do nothing about this move right here, but I'm taking notes. What do? Are you gonna? I know you. I know you're talking about kicking them out, but like in real,
but
real,
at the same
real
time,
spirit, that's not the only move.
But at the same time,
that's my only real
That's
move.
your only move, dude?
That's my only real move. Like, what? You know, and you know, and I might be in my feelings about walking you down the aisle and all that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But when you tell me my 20 people can't get in, and like, no, we can't get your 20 people in, and then you didn't play me, like you didn't send out an announcement, but you didn't send out the invitation.
Yeah.
And then you go, then you like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
After I done did all of this.
Yeah. Now
all
that,
of this?
yeah.
So this about respect now. You're not,
it's
about respect.
Yeah, everything.
I get
It's
that.
about respect.
Yeah, I'd care. Yeah, I feel that. I'd let him go. I let him go.
I'm like, and the girlfriend is involved in, like, are y'all having relations again? You and the baby daddy? Like, now all these scenarios is coming up. Now I'm like, hold on.
Is he back on the scene?
You know what
now?
I'm saying? That you not saying nothing, and I didn't took your daughter in.
Yeah.
I didn't raise her.
Yes,
man.
All of that,
Yeah.
and then y'all just kick me to the side. Like, now I've been used. Is this an episode of Punk?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's how I'm feeling.
Where
bro.
the cameras?
Yeah, where's the cameras?
This can't be life.
Yeah.
Nah.
My man is kicking everybody out. The whole wedding is off. I ain't coming because I don't want nothing to do with the rest of none of y'all anyway.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Y'all need to scratch out that address. Find something else. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna be home on the wedding day.
Scratch out that address on the
Scratch
invitation.
the address, and I'm locking the gate. I'm not
locking the gate. Nobody's getting in.
No, that was good. That was good. Well, fellas, I think that is our time. That is our time. Anything y'all want to plug before we shut the door? Before we shut it, anything? Y'all gotta always have something to plug.
Hey man, I think some of these books we've been looking at is real dope, man. Especially if you like listening to them. Like I know some of us can't sit and just read. We got a lot going on in the day, but man, some of these books, I think we should put a dope little book list together, throw it in the comments somewhere, and start letting people see some of this stuff because these joints is life changing, and I think knowledge is power. And man, we need to get on that.
James wants to have a book fair.
Yeah.
Bookie, what's up, man?
Oh yeah, you can hit me up, IG Bookie98. Also, just a reminder, the last Sunday of this month, Abundant Grace Ministry will be moving to the Hub City.
Oh yeah, I'm
plugging that again.
Sure.
We having a opening day kind of service over at the new building on Alondra and Bullets. I get the address for you.
For sure.
But it used to be the old Calvary Baptist Church right on the corner. So yeah, come check us out. I believe it's June 29th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Sunday's the 30th.
Oh, it's the 30th. Well, it might be the actual
it's a Sunday.
Yeah, but I get back with you with the correct date. But yeah, one of the two. You'll catch it on social media. Abundant Grace Ministries.
All right, fellas. Well, it's time for a really bad toast as we exit this thing. Everybody raise your glass. Appreciate you for coming out. Listen to us again. We really, really, really do appreciate you. Got many, many, many podcasts to listen to. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. And hit us up. Continue to help us grow. But as we exit, we will do this. We all fall, but we say don't trip. We all been called, but we all stall a bit. We all stand tall until that time we slip. Just admit, without the grace of God,
I'm really bad at this.
That's the first time we did it right.
Cheers.
Later.